Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajanabhaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanditamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this what we are doing is Gajendra Moksham today, which is part of Bhagavatam. So when we do Bhagavatam, there is an additional prayer we have to offer. So we'll just do that also. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So welcome everyone to the session today. So we'll be doing Bhagavatam. And first, thank you to Srini and you to host this class. So, welcome everyone to the session today. So, I think Srini has picked a very good topic, okay, and it's not an easy topic. Because we generally, what we have been doing in Bhagavad Gita class every week is 2 or 3 verses. Sometimes a couple of more, sometimes even 1 verse, right? But here, Srini has put me in a situation where we have to do one day, in one session, 3 chapters of Canto 8. So Canto 8, chapter 2, 3 and 4, 3 chapters we have to cover. So it's a good topic. It's good for me, good for everyone too, because I also have to revise and go through that. But we'll try to do our justice. And as far as the questions are concerned, we'll try to put the questions at the end, because otherwise we'll not be able to cover what we want to cover. And hold on to your thoughts, hold on to your questions. They will be answered to the extent I am aware, to my knowledge. And if we can't, we can do it in the next session also. But let's try to go with this flow. Okay. Let me open those chapters. I'll stop sharing now. So let me open that.
Someone is at the video doorbell.
Okay. So Gajendra Moksham has three. Gajendra Moksham is covered under three chapters, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, those are Canto 8, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and Chapter 4. Okay, let me go back to the previous one. So, Chapter 2 covers the what is the crisis. Actually, we all think that science and technology has evolved, management has evolved, and we put in a very organized way. But if you look at Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and all these scriptures, Uparanas, they were organized so excellently that you feel that we are behind. Okay, so as far as the technology and science is concerned. So now, if you look at this, chapter 2 covers first, gives a context, the elephant Gajendra's crisis. That is chapter 2. Okay, and chapter 3 is prayers of Gajendra, how he offers that crisis, what he remembers, what he does. And chapter 4 will be very nice conclusion, just like a movie. We'll see what happens, what hero does, all good things like that. Gajendra returns back to the spiritual world. That is third chapter, fourth chapter, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So we can't do all the verses or even 50% of the verses. So I picked 3 verses to cover.
If you want to do today's chapter 2, next session chapter 3, and after
today, I, based on his request, I formulated to do all one time.
Yes,
But next time we can do more elaborately.
no,
2, 3, yeah.
This big solution.
And then if someone attends one of them, the other doesn't, they don't attend, they'll miss it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So our context is Gajendra's prayers and those things. So let's go to, first I will cover only the prayers. 2, verse 2, because I'm telling the verse numbers. Okay, let me put the links in the chat so that everyone can follow that.
Put it in the WhatsApp chat.
WhatsApp chat, okay. It's, can you post it?
Yeah.
It's, someone posted already, looks like. I have 2 different tabs, that is the reason it's a little confusing for me. Where is the chat in this? So Venkat, post Canto 8, chapter 3, verse 2, 11 and 25, I think.
Chapter,
2, 11 and 25. So three links you provide. Okay. So the first one we are going to do is 832. Okay. So please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Yata etachit atmakam. Purushayadi bijaya. Pareshaya vidhimahi. We'll repeat again. Sri Gajendra Uvacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Yata etachit atmakam. Purushayadi bijaya.
पुरुषाय दिबीजाय
परेशाय धीमहि.
परेशाय धीमहि.
The king of elephants, Gajendra, said, I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Person, Vasudeva. Because of him, this material body acts due to the presence of spirit, and he is therefore the root cause of everyone. He is worshipable for such exalted persons as Brahma and Shiva, and he has entered the heart of every living being. Let me meditate upon him. Okay. So, this is from which chapter? 3. 2 was crisis, 3 was prayers, and 4th is going back to Godhead. Where are we in our life? In chapter 2, 3, or 4? Right?
3 may be crisis.
Okay, so very optimistic, nice. I feel 2 is realistic. Okay, so we are in chapter 2. Our journey should go into chapter 3 and chapter 4. That is our goal. So I'll also read verse 11. We'll just read the translation. The Supreme Personal Godhead is realized by pure devotees who act in the transcendental existence of Bhakti Yoga. He is the bestower of uncontaminated happiness and is the master of the transcendental world. Therefore, I offer my respect unto him. And the next one, 8 verse 25, I do not wish to live anymore after I am realized from the attack, after I'm released. I do not wish to live anymore after I'm released from the attack of crocodile. So what does that mean? That part of the sentence, what does it mean? Basically, at this point in time, he is not worried about crocodile. He has realized something beyond that. Thank you. So, when we are taking an exam or we are going to attend an interview, what will be our thought process? Oh, this is my dream job. I should get this. God, just get me this and I'm all set. Right? Or that's about going for higher thing. When you're in a crisis, you'll think, oh God, just give me this one or get rid of this problem, I'll be done. Right? But actually, Gajendra is at a very high stage, very advanced stage right now. He says that this crocodile, if this crocodile releases, another crocodile might hold my leg, or it could be something else. So let me not worry about this. He has come to a stage this all these at the bodily level, and I'm not worried about the release of the crocodile, but I'm worried about something more beyond that. So I do not wish to live anymore after I am released from the attack of the crocodile. What is the use of an elephant's body covered externally and internally by ignorance? We are all covered by ignorance. I simply desire eternal liberation from the covering of ignorance. So basically, Gajendra is praying that please take me out of this ignorance. That covering is not destroyed by the influence of time. Why? What is the proof of that? That our ignorance is not removed or destroyed with time? Because we have lived so many lifetimes in the past. Maybe in human body or maybe in animal body. We don't know, right? We don't have the memory of that. But we are continuing like that. That is a proof that with time this covering doesn't go. But with intentional, deliberate effort, you can work towards it. Based on your effort, Krishna reciprocates. So this is about these 3 verses. Now we are not going to cover the verses, but we'll just try to take the essence here and there and try to cover. Okay. So I also want to give some context, because this story gives a lot of information that it says that, okay, this whole crocodile thing, this Gajendra and the crocodile, who are they? When it happened? Where it happened? those things come up a lot when you even refer later. So I want to make sure that that is clear, right? So when it happened, his first question is, when it happened? It happened, we have seen, in a day of Brahma, which is called Kalpa, there are 14 Manvantaras. How many? 14 Manvantaras. This happened in the 4th Manvantara. That Manvantara's name is Tamasa Manvantara. Okay, and where are we now? Which Manvantara are we in? Anyone else? We are in 7th Manvantara. So we are in 7th Manvantara, there are 14 Manvantaras, and this happened in 4th Manvantara. That is about time. Where it happened, there used to be, I should say it's not used to be, there is, but it's not visible to us because it's in a different world. Okay? Something called Trikuta Parvat. Okay?
So, Suresh Prabhu, that word he used, what is that? I'm hearing for the first time. That period,
Manavantara.
Manamantra.
Yeah. So basically, one kalpa is divided into, one kalpa means one day of Brahma is divided into 14 Manvantaras. Okay. So each Manvantara is ruled by one Manu.
Okay.
Okay. So this 4th Manvantara was ruled by Tamasa. Okay, by Tamasa. So he was the Manu for that particular Manvantara. So yeah, this happened in Trikuta Parvat, and Trikuta Parvat was a dvipa kind of. Okay, it was surrounded by ocean of milk. Ocean of milk. So all dvipas or islands are there in the ocean of milk, and this is one of them, Trikuta. And it had 3 peaks, one of gold, one of silver, and one of copper. Okay, I think so. I can't recall that. Now, in that was the time and that was the place where typically all the Gandharvas and the other demigods used to have their leelas or fun or whatever you call, right? So that is the place, and then within that there was one lake. That lake was owned by Varuna Deva. It was his creation. And in that was such a beautiful lake, as well as the whole area was such a beautiful one, it's difficult for us to even imagine. And who was Gajendra? Gajendra was the king of elephants. Actually, the experts call them, or the Shastras call them, say them as he's the king of elephants, and then they take back and say that in fact he was the king of all the animals, or the king of the jungle itself, because he was so powerful that all the animals, so-called lions, tigers, all the wild animals also used to be scared of him. Means he was so powerful. You can't imagine his power. So we know about the time and place now. So now what happened there is Gajendra being all powerful, okay, he had so many wives, so many children, and so many other elephants, male elephants as well. When he was traveling somewhere, it seems the land there used to tremble. That was the power he used to have. So powerful. Okay. And then all these family members said, okay, why don't we are feeling thirsty, why don't we quench our thirst? So they walked towards the Sarovar, or the lake, right? And they nicely got that they quenched their thirst. How many of them were? Multiple of them, because he was a king, right? Very powerful. So all of them got in. But sure enough, after that, what happened? After they quenched the thirst, did they go out? No, they did not. Okay. So, oh, this is so fun, so cool water, and they're sprinkling on each other, right? We all go to do some activity, but then we don't limit our activity to that scope. Exactly. We go beyond our purpose. We just go have fun, whatever. Right? Similarly, they were not different in that way, right? So they were having fun. In fact, the beautiful sarovar which was created by Varuna, it became a mess. Okay? And all the living beings in that lake, what happened? They were getting disturbed. But then he was so powerful, no one dared to even do anything there. But there is one crocodile which was nicely sleeping for ages, right? And then it also got disturbed. But it was also powerful. So it could not tolerate that disturbance. So nicely came and held the leg of, one of the leg of Gajendra. Was Gajendra disturbed, perturbed?
Yes.
Not at all. He was thinking that he has all the strength in the world. Right? See, when we are able to do one activity or two activities itself, we become so proud and pride, and we feel so happy that we think that we are the ruler. Right? So then Gajendra, having so much of strength, so much of power, and so much of many more elephants, and all the whole jungle is scared of him, why would he be perturbed or disturbed? Right? He took it easy and he thought he can just get rid of that crocodile easily. But as time passed, time means how much? It seems starting he thought, okay, it's an insignificant thing. But then he started fighting against the crocodile to get his leg released. And years passed, it became thousands of years. So what happens when it happens for such a long time process? They lose their strength, right? When you start an activity, you do not have the same strength from the beginning to the end, right? And then in addition to that, what is the location? It is water. And crocodile strength is increasing day by day because it is the living creature of the water. Whereas elephant, it's a guest to water, right? It's losing strength and he's gaining strength. So now, okay, let me go down a little bit to get some points. Okay. Now, what is that from this scenario, we wanted to take some analysis and parallels and see what is that we can learn from this. And what is that analogy of the water, crocodile, and Gajendra, right? So we, in our lives, are Gajendras. Because all of us have pride. Now, sorry, Gajendra had two things. Pride, which is also called ahankar. The other one is attachment. Okay? Mamakar. What was he attached to? All his wives, children, all the other supporters of him. So he was attachment. One is, in Telugu, they call it as Balam, Balagam. Okay, your own strength is, you call it as Balagam or Balam, and then your family, your friends, relatives, whoever are your supporters, we call them Balagam. Right? Those two are his strengths. And what happened at this time? Balagam was helpless because they were trying to help him in the beginning, but then realized that they can't help, and they were scared that if they enter the water now, another crocodile might catch their, right? This is very helpless. So Gajendra is corresponding to us, and the Gajendra's, all this family, Balagam is our Balagam also, number one. And second thing is, what is this lake corresponding to? That lake is corresponding to samsaram. The whole worldly attachments, or whatever you call it, sometimes they appear as duties, sometimes they don't appear as duties. Okay, that is our lake. And what is this crocodile? Moham. Okay, so the crocodile is so lucky, not crocodile, sorry, elephant is so lucky, Gajendra was so lucky, it was the moham which was catching it. It's very clearly visible, physically visible, right? But the moham which is catching us is not even visible to us. In fact, we are thinking that they're enjoying that. But actually, it is the crocodile of our life. So we are in a deeper crisis than Gajendra. Do you all accept that, or do you have any think that no, Moham is so nice. We have a nice house, nice wife, nice friends, nice children. They listen to me. They do whatever I say. Is that what you think? So when you are in the consciousness of body, the later is true. When you are in the consciousness of the soul, the first one is true. Right? So it depends on which consciousness we are in. So the allegory of the lake. Okay. Let me read out a few notes from here. Gajendra enters the lake. Okay, Gajendra enters the lake to quench his thirst, a metaphor for the soul entering the material world, that is samsara, for enjoyment. Okay, why we entered the material world? Because of our expressing our free will to desire, enjoy. And Gajendra's 10 lakh crore wives and children. He had 10 lakh crores wives and children. So it seems often people come up with asking, was that lake that big enough for the 10 crore elephants to fit in? Right? But this is just an exaggeration. All the Shastras, they write a huge number there, something, so that it creates an impact to us. Right? It's like it just means that huge number. And our 10 senses are corresponding to those vibes, and those count. Okay, what are those 10 senses? Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. Jnanendriya means knowledge acquiring senses, and Karmendriyas means action senses. Okay, so then you can say that these are only 10 senses, but we are comparing with 10 lakh crores or huge number of elephants in the family, right? So that is a nice comparison given. It seems these senses are very powerful, whether it's knowledge acquiring or karmendriyas. Each instance, like when you exercise those senses, like so from morning to evening, say suppose I'm driving to this place, I see a beautiful home, new construction. Oh, maybe this house would be better. That itself has one sense, and that's going to create an impression on your mind that maybe if this not this lifetime, next lifetime, or next lifetime, Krishna will fulfill that desire for you to have that house. Right? So once we are aware of that, we will not get that thought itself. Right? Are we happy with what we have? Yes, be content. Right? There will be always, there's no end to anything. If you become a millionaire, you can become a billionaire. If you become a billionaire, you become a multi-billionaire, and then you can become a trillionaire. Is there an end to it? No. So now compared to the, coming back to the senses, so we have to, like if you all in the object-oriented world, you have, he doesn't want technical things to come in, but my bad habit is that I compare with them. So if you have a class, its class is like an sense, right? If you instantiate a class, it's an object. So now these 10 senses can instantiate themselves so many times they become crores and lakhs. So we should exercise those senses in the context of God, in the service of God. Then those senses are purified and you get purified. While drinking, they created havoc, messing with the plants, disturbing other beings, etc., etc. We do the same thing, right? Whatever actions we do, we came to this earth for some reason, right? And we are all fortunate to get the association of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. We use that and go back to Godhead silently. Okay? And if it helps, share with others so that it can help yourself and others. When you're, so the teacher is the best learner, right? If I have to teach someone or express to someone or present to someone, I have to learn it better. Right? So you share with others, others are getting benefited and you're also getting benefited. Win-win. So the crocodile is moham, delusion is invincible in its home ground. So now, just like the crocodile has the home ground of water, right? For what is the moham's home ground? This earth, where all these three modes of material nature, that external energy of Krishna, are testing you, creating all these kind of situations. So delusion is invincible in its home ground, samsara, water. It is like a beautiful creeper that ties us up so gently we don't realize we are trapped, right? Say, some person is there who's who has all the wealth which he requires or more than that, okay, and he's well natured, good natured, he is an excellent family by virtue of nature, by virtue of behavior, they're very nice. So what will happen to that person? Will he ever think of Krishna or God or liberation? He will never. That is the creeper, beautiful creeper Krishna is talking about, right? Say, for example, you have someone like a sibling or a wife or children who is rebellious, always creating some trouble for you. Okay? You are lost in it. You'll be thinking, what is this? What is this life, right? But then that is coming for a reason. That's help us understand that there's something beyond that, right? Just like the problem which the Gajendra faced, it helped him to realize that this is, I'm in a crisis, right? Like that, we have to see that if you have everything working fine and the association of the Shastras, we have to realize that Krishna is giving me the opportunity for not only myself to liberate, but because my family listens to me, my relatives listen to me, I can liberate them as well, right? But at the same time, if you have troubles, we have to see that, okay, this is the trouble I have. Unless I get liberated, how do I come out? So we have to dovetail whatever situation we have towards Krishna for the higher goal. That should be our mindset. We should, okay. And also, if you look at this whole thing, right, I've talked to a couple of people who have gone to, what is it called, base camp, Himalayas. Then I asked them, what do you think? What did you feel after going there? They said, we felt we are so insignificant. That Himalayas are so huge and massive that we are insignificant, right? Now, what does this whole thing about the 14 Manvantaras? We are in one Manvantara, that is 7th Manvantara, and then that each Manvantara is what, millions of years or something, very long. And in that we are one speck. We are insignificant, right? We can't magnify our problems, we can't afford to magnify our problems and worried about it. Rather, we should try to focus what is the goal, right? And work towards it and see that whatever is nice, use them for it. Whatever is not nice, use them for it. Like suppose you have trouble, use them as an inspiration to come out of this cycle of birth and death to get liberated. If you have everything perfectly, use that as a facility to go. Either way, we should be happy. But the point I was trying to drive here is we are so insignificant beings. Don't take things seriously. All these things are illusion. We should just take it as, like suppose you have a car. Okay. So somehow someone hits your car or something happens, you initially feel little emotional. Hey, I spent only 2 years back, I spent so much, now 2 years, first 2 years it gets depreciated so much, right? But after 1 or 2 days, what you think? It's okay. Because we are much more important than the car. Car comes and goes, right? Similarly, our body comes and goes. Our soul is important. Right? That realization we should get, or at least we should aspire to get realization. And then we should also see who is this who's creating all this moham, right? Who is creating that? There are multiple factors to it. One is we ourselves. because in the previous life, we wished that we desire all these things. We thought, at some point, okay, Krishna is the king of Vaikuntha, right? And in fact, they probably did not realize he's the king on cause of all causes, creator of everything, etc. But then he feels like having fun. Okay, go have fun. You have a wife, you have children, you are the king of your house, right? Of course, with generations that is changing, but then at least that illusion you have, right? So that is one. And then Krishna is always giving you the free will and also fulfilling that, right? But when he will choose based on your karma, right? So that is the reason we should be careful in our utilization of the free will. And okay, next is ahankar and mamakar. We already discussed this. Gajendra fought for 1,000 years, relying on his strength, ahankar, and his circle of influence. That whatever that mamakar, your family, relatives, all those things are mamakar. Right? They are supportive for you. So both failed as his strength dwindled and his family stood helpless on the shore. Right? We have come across these days even people who are in the late 40s, early 50s. In fact, a couple of scenarios I saw in late 30s. They're in the hospital with some sickness, okay, and they are helpless. The husband has tried enough. They have poured in all their whatever savings and then utilized all their insurance benefits. They're helpless. Even if they had more money, they're helpless, right? And that is the time they realize that what I did, right? And then I think, I don't remember exactly, I didn't prepare for it, but Steve Jobs also said something when he was in his deathbed. I would do differently things if I knew of this scenario at that time, right? Krishna is giving us all that information now through Shastras. We should leverage that. We should work for it. So, ahankar and mamakar, we should dovetail them. Whatever strengths Krishna has given us are for some purpose, right? So, it seems Krishna, in the Shastras it's written that he has given us some strength, right? If you think that that strength is for utilizing it for having fun and fulfill our desires, in the process, all that energy is getting dwindled, right? What energy I had 20 years back, I don't have the same energy now. So, say Ramki was able to run 10 miles 10 years back. Can he do that now? Maybe only 5 miles. And after another 5 years, it becomes 4 miles. Right? So, but did you use that energy which went away from 10 miles to 5 miles in the service of God so that your soul gets a better place later? Or did you use that energy for fulfilling your desires? So that is very, very important.
Prabhu, I have a question. So we used, I think I know, but I want to, get clarity from you. We use the word realize in different contexts, right? But according to our tradition, what is the difference between knowing and realizing?
That's a very good question. Okay. Knowing is knowledge. Realizing is wisdom. Okay. So when you start applying your knowledge, whatever you learn, listen, hear, and then you face problems, you overcome those problems, that is what is wisdom and that is what is realization.
Is there any way for me to know, because we always think, okay, I applied my mind, I used the techniques, whatever I learned to get out of a situation, whatnot, right? So is that applying the mind as a knowledge that we acquired and we apply that knowledge, that is realization, or there is something more to it? Like, for example, I know Bhagavan exists. But realizing, we always talk about that too, right? In previous verse, you talked about, he had that realization, right? So there is difference between having the knowledge and knowing the knowledge. And how do we know that applying is not actually, is it more than that? It sounds mysterious to me, right?
Yeah.
Applying knowledge, is it wisdom? But maybe it is not. I'm applying my knowledge on day-to-day basis, but it's not wisdom.
So this is very subjective, Shri. So we have to understand that in realization there is no Boolean value like 0 and 1, right? There is a levels of realization, number one. And second thing is, I say subjective because it changes from person to person, right? So suppose I am at 0 out of 10 in realization perspective, right? First time when I make some progress, I might end up thinking that, okay, now onwards, no matter what, I am going to think of Krishna at least 1 minute a day. Okay, and then that is one kind of realization because you're trying to apply, right? And then when you apply that, and every day you're spending 1 minute, you will get inspiration to spend 5 minutes, right? That's also realization. So now there is nothing like I'm a realized soul or not realized soul, right? It is only when you hit the threshold, certain threshold, that is when Krishna reciprocates for you, right? That is, of course, prior to that also Krishna reciprocates. But like example in this case, right? In this case, if you take, when did Gajendra realize? When did Gajendra realize? After exhausting all his strength and after exhausting all his support from his relatives, friends, that is when he realized that there is something beyond my strength and there is something beyond that. And at that point, for him, his strengths, his relatives, his the obstacles. See, at the point, that point, okay, this is a very good, very nice question. I'll tell you one quick answer, then we'll continue because we can continue. The thing is that at the point when Gajendra realized is that he felt whether the crocodile is still holding my leg or not doesn't matter to me. Okay, whether all these family people members are supporting me or not doesn't matter to me. Whether I have my strength or not doesn't matter to me. Everything belongs to Krishna. The crocodile is Krishna, my strength is Krishna, the family relatives are Krishna, everything is Krishna. Now, Krishna, I want to only see you. Okay, that is the realization in this context. So,
Hare Krishna.
yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, now we'll go to the turning point. I'm trying to go, I just saw the time, 9:52, and we didn't cover much. Okay. So Gajendra's liberation begins the moment he stops fighting the crocodile and starts remembering. Sri's question was nicely dovetailing us into this next section, okay? And we have to realize few things, very, very important, okay? This is a story which is very good, but I wanted to, it takes time, but I'll try to cut short it. There was a sailor, it's a real life incident, it happened, okay? There was a sailor, his ship got wrecked, ship or boat, whatever got wrecked, and he ended up with great difficulty on an island, okay? And then there has some trees and all with great difficulty, he got all this in course of time. He needs a place to stay with, to take shelter, right? So he got all these things from here and there, and over time he built a hut. Okay, and then he was staying there with some peace, and then the hut got fire. What did the person think? Oh my God, I built this with so much great difficulty alone, single person, over so much time, and this also you've taken away, God. What is this? But you know what happened? Because of the fire, there is a helicopter, there's some media or whatever they saw that some problem is there here, and the helicopter came there. And he was rescued, right? So we have to have faith in Krishna, that whatever is happening is forever good, right? Otherwise, what happens if the hut was not on fire, he would not got rescued, right? And we also know the story of the king who lost the finger, remember? Yeah. But I don't want to go into the story, it takes time, okay? So Next, double liberation, internal. So now, what is the surrender part, Saranagati, whatever we call it, right? Here, the two transformations that happened to Gajendra. One is that internal. Lord touched his, okay, this is a little later. One is he stated, we went into that state and he was offering prayers. And his prayers were so beautiful. So many senior disciples explained it so nicely. It seems the way he explains the Lord who is the creator, the Lord who is the most merciful, who is the cause of all causes, he doesn't take the name of any particular Lord. Okay. Now, it says that Lord Shiva can come and give shelter to him, rescue him from the crocodile. Or other demigods can also give shelter. Right? But his adverbs and adjectives by which he was calling him to rescue him were all only fulfilled, those were only relevant to Lord Vishnu. So that is the reason others didn't come. So, in one of the lectures I was listening, this particular beautiful Leela is so helpful to even to preach to, like say suppose someone is from different religion, they also can follow this. It's very relevant. And he attained, there's sometimes more than one type of mukti, and he attained Sarupya Mukti. Basically, Gajendra got a mukti in which he got the form of Lord Vishnu itself and went back to Godhead. Every demon killed by Krishna represents a demoniac quality in us being purified. So when we hear about various leelas from Bhagavatam, right? Suppose whether it is Bakasur, Narakasur, whatever, anything, actually it seems all those demons are there in us. All those demons that are there in us, we have to kill them with the knowledge which we are acquiring from this Shastras. Okay? If I say that I don't have those qualities in me, it just means that I am lying or I'm not aware of it. But they're there. If they're not there, and if I'm a purified soul, I would not be on this earth. So that also helps us to understand one more thing. So suppose someone hurts us, okay, and we feel bad about it and try to take revenge and all. It doesn't make any sense because all the people here are diseased with all those anarthas, right? If I think that, if you realize that, okay, Ravindra has told something to me, it hurt my feelings, right? I have to be hurt and have to take revenge only if he is a realized soul. If he is not realized soul, he is also like me. It doesn't make any sense, right? So with this knowledge, that helps us to make sure that we should be always calm and quiet. By every opportunity is only for us to realize that there is some defect in me and I have to fix that. And then there are so many defects that we will be spending lifetimes and lifetimes to fix them. So we have to take the shelter of Krishna. Okay, now we will go into the past a little bit. I think I might go 10 minutes extra. Is that okay?
I'm fine.
So now I want to talk about who was Gajendra and who was the crocodile. Okay, Gajendra was a great devotee. He was King Indradyumna. He was one of the dynasty of Pandya dynasty. It belongs to South India, I think Tamil Nadu or somewhere. Pandya dynasty. He was a king. He's a very, very nice king. And then what kings used to do who are knowledgeable in Shastras, they used to be called Rajarishis. And they, at some point in time, they used to leave the kingdom to the next successor and go back to the forest. And in his case, the triggering point was different. It seems his guru I don't remember the exact incident, but there was an incident where he was trying to please the guru and ask the guru whether you're happy or not and all. Okay. Then guru made him realize that this rishi has this Indradumna, though he's knowledgeable and all, still he has ego. Okay. If you are giving me all the facilities with the kingdom belonged to your father or someone else before. You are not using your power to facilitate anything to me, right? So that kind of a conversation came, and that triggered him to give up all the kingdom and go back to some ascetic place, right? So he left the kingdom, he went to Malaya hills, and he was performing austerities there. And he was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. He was performing the penance there. At that time, into his ashram, Agastya Muni came. And he, being in deep meditation, he did not reciprocate. So he was cursed to become an elephant. Okay. So now again, the problem here is when he's cursed, he accepted it because he's from a rishi. Right? Agastya Muni is one of the Sapta Rishis. So he has to accept it. Actually, it appears like a curse, but it's a boon. Because he took as an elephant, he went back to Godhead. Otherwise, how many more lifetimes he would have taken, we don't know. So that is about Gajendra. And who was crocodile? Who was a crocodile? He was Huhu, a Gandharva. A Gandharva named Huhu. And that whole place was, all the Gandharvas were having fun, right? He, along with his so many wives or apsaras, I don't know whoever, he was having fun, okay? And he was getting into the water, coming out, and they were all surprised. Oh, how he's going and coming, some fun he was creating, right? And in the process, he became so overjoyed, and he didn't have senses that there was a sage named Devala, and it seems he pulled his leg. Okay, and he said, you are acting like a crocodile. You are Gandharva, you are acting like a crocodile. Cursed him to become a crocodile. And then when he pleaded, he said that there will be a time you will get not liberated, but become a crocodile, become a Gandharva back. So moral of the story is our current actions are writing the script of our future. So don't take serious, irreversible decisions due to temporary, reversible emotions. So it's a very good model, I felt. Okay. And then we have something, I have two more things to cover. Okay. One is, it's very small, it's 2-3 minutes. This is Falastuti. Okay. What Falastuti means? What is the fruit of this? What is the moral of this story? And what we should do? Whatever takeaway points. Thank you. Every morning, if you are able to get up in the morning, and this whole, there's a lot of, if you go to YouTube, there is Gajendra Moksha. Last time I did the class, right? After that's when I realized this. And after that, every morning I play that once. It's 8 minutes. You can do that even when you're taking shower, just next to it. So that concurrent processing happens, right? So that is one. That's abbreviated form. But if you have time and spend and listen to the story also, it's good. Because it brings transformation in you. So what this Falastuti was given by Lord Vishnu himself. Right? Not anyone else, not a Muni or everything is respectful and we have to follow. But this is something which has come from Krishna. What it is listening to this Leela, not just as a ritual, it is a reboot to your mind and says, it removes Goram, all the obstacles from your life. It brings auspiciousness. It brings mental health. It clears Duswapna, and bad dreams will not be there. Real life miracle, just as child in a critical, this is a beautiful thing happened. Actually, this happened, it seems. One of the speakers spoke about this. It's a real life
Someone
incident.
is at the video doorbell.
it seems someone was having an issue, mental health issue, and he was in the hospital in UK or somewhere. I don't know exactly where, in Europe, I think. And all the doctors saw and they gave up. The doctors were trying to treat him and they gave up that. They could not treat him anymore. Okay. So then this, whoever was the patient, or the patient, right? Patient relative, he was a student of 20 years or 18 years, something like that. He was a graduate student. And he heard that this Parastuti, and it can make miracles. So he told his dad, and for those, when he was in the hospital, he recited next to him all this Gajendra Stuti for like few days together, all as together. And then the doctors were surprised how he became like completely, that sickness went away for the mental, whatever, the tumor or something was there, and it's completely gone. It's like miracle, right? For us, when we think from logic, it feels like stupid. How can you, it's like not logical, right? How can some mantra remove? But we have to realize the whole creation is coming from God, right? When something comes from God, that is not comprehensive to us. We have to follow that. We have to understand that. Everything thinks beyond us. Like suppose what is there behind this wall, I can't see, right? It doesn't mean that nothing is there. So we have to realize that, and we have to go with this. And then, okay, where is the other one? The real life miracle, okay, that's one. Remembrance. Bharat Maharaj remembered a deer and became one. Right? What happened to him? He became one after he became a deer, because last when he left the body, he was remembering deer. But next time what happened? Next life as Jada Bharat, he was very careful, only remembering Krishna all the time, and he got liberated. There are so many other comparisons, but we don't have time. So one conclusion, and I'll give one acronym, and with that we'll end. Life is a flying balloon. It can, I just came with it. It can burst at any time. Realize with knowledge that you are not this body. Don't be like the elephant who realizes the truth after 1,000 years of fighting. Don't be like an elephant. So, and then use your intelligence to see that the crocodile of Moham is taking you away from Krishna. Surrender now and let him lift you out of the water. Okay. So, if you wait, if you keep on doing whatever you're doing now and wait till the crocodile becomes visible to you, it will be longer journey. So let us try to realize that. And then there is a nice acronym. The acronym was Gajendra. Okay. One is G is for grand scale. Okay. Cosmic time. Remember the Tamasa Vanavantra. Our lives are tiny parts of a vast, flawless calculation. We are tiny. We are smaller than a drop of water in the ocean. Next is A, Ahankar and Mamakar. A for Ahankar and Mamakar. This is a trap. We have to realize that whenever we have, we should have goodness, not Ahankar and Mamakar. Right? False ego, I am doer, and false attachment, this is mine, are what do truly let the crocodile grab us. So the moment we have this is mine and these are mine, I and mine, that is a trap. That is Ahankar and Mamakar. J is Jnanendriyas, the senses, our 10 senses create a worldly mess in the lake of samsara. So what do? You use these 10 senses in the service of Krishna and to uplift yourself. And next is enlightenment, more. Choose the gold peak. We talked about 3 gold peaks. We did not do much. We didn't delve into that because of the time. Gold corresponds to patience and enthusiasm. Silver corresponds to enthusiasm and enthusiasm only. And copper corresponds to patience only. If you don't have enthusiasm, but you have only patience, you're not in the right direction. If you have only enthusiasm, but you don't have patience, you'd be looking for short-term goals. If you have patience and enthusiasm, that is gold, good, more of goodness. And then what enlightenment? Not this body. N is not this body. Knowledge. The paradigm shift from chapter 2 point Bhagavad Gita 2:13, Krishna tells us that all these things are temporary, right? Everything's temporary. Happiness, distress comes and goes, and also talks us about we are not this body and you are this soul. And then that is N, not this body. And D is divine touch. Though Gajendra was surrendered by virtue of after giving up his strength and after giving up his, what is it called, mamakar. They're helpless, he's helpless. He himself could not help himself. That is when, and he offered the prayers, Krishna came and he touched him on his forehead. Okay? And when he touched, that completely transformed him further. So, we have to aspire for the divine touch from Krishna. For that, you have to put effort, you have to become eligible. So, for that, surrender is the requirement. Freedom doesn't come from strength. So, freedom doesn't come from our strength, but from the touch of the Lord. Next is reveal, R, Gajendra's R. Reveal. Our past actions like Hindridunya, Huhu, shape our present. Today's actions are tomorrow's liberation. Last is A, that's auspiciousness, Falastuti. Daily remembrance removes terrifying obstacles and clears the mind of anxieties. So every day listen to this and you get clarity in mind, clarity of thought, and there are a lot of instances people have quoted in their lifetimes that when they are doing everyday morning Gajendra Stuti, their mind is getting much more clarity. So we can end here, but I have R is reveal. And then I have one other thing I have somewhere. Let me see, where is that? Yeah. So one other example is there where you can be sure that whenever you offer prayers to Krishna sincerely, Krishna reciprocates. Few instances are Parikshit Maharaj puts a dead snake on Shamika Mashi. In response, son Shringi curses Parikshit to die in 2 weeks with a snake. Okay, where is this one? This is examples of what we see as insignificant. When we think that things are going wrong, but they're turning out to be correct, right? Though Parikshit Maharaj is also human, he has to leave his body someday, right? How he left now, like unlike any other king, he heard 2 weeks of condensed, concentrated, focused Bhagavatam and he left the body. Isn't it such a beautiful thing? And then Ambarish Maharaj, what happened to him? He took a drop of water and you know everyone knows the story of Ambarish Maharaj, right? But Durvasuma was agitated and insulted him, but what Krishna did? He protected him. And Draupadi passed sarcastic remarks to Duryodhana. He wants to take revenge. These are some of the examples where we see different kind of things. But let me read. In this journey of soul, this life is tiny and significant. In this life, a few incidents are further insignificant. So don't take them seriously and affect the rest of your life. And these are the examples for those. So we should not take things seriously. We need to have a strong conviction that Krishna is our Supreme Father, is all merciful and knows everyone in real life and is flawless in his karma system, protects everyone at all times. So here we'll stop. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. It's so wonderful. You talked elaborately.
Yeah, I try to cover. I was thinking that I'm confusing people or giving knowledge. I don't know, but I was trying to do my best.
Yeah, I mean, somebody who studied Telugu, Potana, I think he has written an excellent.
Yeah, Potana has done an excellent job.
We had the lesson back then, but then we don't understand the essence. It was just a story. But the way you narrated, this really helps us.
Oh, thank you.
So elaborate.
So hope I and everyone else take this and try to apply. Because,
Saraswati in the group.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. But you said like Gajendra Stuti. So can we post the video? Or
Yeah, I
YouTube
do.
link?
I'll post.
Braja Beats or something. I think somebody posted in YouTube by Braja Beats.
Correct. That's the one I also listened.
Yeah.